Right, so on with my next video, and I may well do another video on, well, particularly another 2 videos on the subject to upload in the next couple of weeks, because it's a subject that's dear to my heart, and that is darts. As people know, I love darts. In fact, apart from football, it's my favourite sport, which some will argue, is it a sport or not? And basically, I will say that I'm going to be doing a book review on darts, which I've got here, but we'll leave this for another time, because the purpose of this darts blog is to talk about a certain dart player and to say well done to Rob Cross. Yes, now anybody who doesn't follow darts and doesn't know the ins and outs, but we had recently had the PDC, yes, that's the Professional Darts Corporation World Darts Championship. Yes, the World Championship for the PDC. It's the annual one that happens every December and always finishes on the 1st of January. And this year was a rather interesting one, because certain dart players like James Wade, Dave Chisnell and Adrian Lewis have been knocked out long before we even got to the quarterfinals, second round, third and semi-finals, final. So they had no chance of winning it. They basically were gone before you know it. Adrian Lewis lost to some German player that I've never even heard of. So that was quite a shock to that. But what we did have is we had this, the year where Phil Taylor was retiring from darts. So it was going to be his last year. It was his swan song. He was going to play in his very last World Championship, his very last tournament in professional darts. And we thought, could he win it? We all knew at the start it was good. I always knew at the start there were some favourites for winning it. I always thought at the start Adrian Lewis or maybe James Wade, you know, Peter Wright, Gary Anderson, Michael Van Gerwen, Phil Taylor, they're all favourites. I looked at them and thought, you're going to get the final, they're probably going to be around there. Well, some of them got knocked out before we even, you know, got really to the nitty-gritty part. But what was surprising was Rob Cross. Now, Rob Cross basically come from out of nowhere to go to the world final. He played Phil Taylor. Now, it didn't work out how I wanted it to work out, because basically when I looked at the semi-final and saw Michael Van Gerwen was in it with Jamie Lewis, Rob Cross was in it with Phil Taylor. They were the 4, you know, in the semi-final. I thought, oh, this is not going to be right, because you think Michael Van Gerwen is going to win, Phil Taylor's going to win, they're going to be in the final. Well, they weren't. One was, one wasn't. So it wasn't the final we expected. It was between Rob Cross and Phil Taylor, because Rob Cross had done exceptional well to beat Michael Van Gerwen. We all thought Michael Van Gerwen was going to be the favourite, he'd win it, or maybe, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, Rob Cross. Before we get onto the bit, basically that's the most important bit. Is basically Rob Cross has come from out of nowhere. Now, we would have said on the 1st of January 2017, who is Rob Cross? Because he wasn't playing darts sort of low-key. He wasn't sort of making a name for himself. And he was going into, like, try and get a tour card, try and play on the tour, and basically going into Q School and all that, as you do. And he went in there and he got his card and he got his, you know, things together. And basically, as the months went on, he got better and better and better. Now, he didn't obviously win massive tournaments. He had won a tournament massively throughout the whole year. Other big tournament wins were for Peter Wright when he won the UK Open, and Phil Taylor regaining the World Match Play title. And we had Michael Van Gerwen winning things like Premier League. We had I think he won the Premier League. We had Darryl Gurney winning the World Grand Prix. We had all these, you know, wins for these players. We looked at people like Michael Van Gerwen winning a few tournaments. We looked at the tournament wins for these. Carl Anderson actually won a World Series of Darts event, which was great. But Rob Cross was there or thereabouts. He was always getting into tournaments. He wasn't getting knocked out the first round. He was getting better. We were looking at him going, this is a man who's for the future. Right, we know he can play a game of darts. He'd get to the quarterfinals or semi-finals and be there and thereabouts. Right, we thought, yeah, he's not bad. He's doing well. Well, the World Championship come along and he did better than we thought because he actually beat Phil Taylor in the final. So for a roller coaster ride of a year, I think it's been great. Rob Cross has done exceptionally well, and he got as far as the final into the World Championship and won it. He beat Phil Taylor. Phil Taylor's very last event, very last match of his professional career was a 7-2 loss to Rob Cross. I want to say well done to Rob Cross. He's done exceptional well to get to the final and win against not only the best player of all time, but that's a great achievement to do, where you can do that. Basically to beat the greatest dart player of all time. And for your first tournament win, to be the world champion. But the question I've been asked by somebody on my Facebook, who is a friend of mine, is basically, will he be, or will he have more success? What will he be like in the future? And it's a very hard question because I don't know. Now, we might look at him and say, is he going to be a one tournament wonder? Like, I'm not saying, because if we go way back into time, into history, and go back to 1983, who would have predicted Keith Deller to win the World Championship? Rob Cross, to me, reminds me of Keith Deller in that sense of the way that he won the World Championship. Because when Keith Deller won the World Championship, he had to beat Jockey Wilson, John Lowe, and Eric Bristow, three of the best dart players at the time. He beat Eric Bristow in the final. Now, it was a qualifier. He qualified for the tournament, and most people would have said, he ain't going to win the World Championship. He's a qualifier. He's probably going to be knocked out maybe in the first round, or he might get to the second round and do some damage. He might get to the quarterfinals and get knocked out. Or he'd be knocked out in the second round, so whatever you predict. But he got to the final, and he basically won it. But after that, his tournament win wasn't as big as. He never really captured on and won a load more big tournaments. He won some tournaments. We could get that. He would have represented England. He would have played in many big tournaments, got to the finals of probably World Masters and things like that, and finals of British Opens and whatever else, and may have won things like that. But he didn't win many more. So he's sort of like famous for being the world champion and the world champion only, and hasn't really got anything else to do. And we kind of wonder whether this will be Rob Cross. Will he be like that? Will we see this? He's won the world championship, and maybe he's not going to do anything else. So I don't know. I kind of think he's going to do better. He's going to do well, and I think he's going to be up there and challenging a lot of dart players. He's actually in the Premier League for the first time this year, so they put him in that. So we're going to see how he gets on that, playing every week. It's going to be a new venture for him because it's not easy playing every week in the Premier League. You know, the pressure and all that. But I think he'll cope. Whether he'll win another big tournament and when, I don't know. We just don't know. It's likely that Michael Van Gerwen is going to think, I don't want to lose another title. So he's going to be trying to regain some of the titles that he wants to win again. So will he be more ruthless when we get to see something like the Unibet Masters, which will probably be the first tournament of the year that will come up very soon? Will Michael Van Gerwen want to win that, basically? Will he go into the Premier League more ruthless? Will we see the UK Open in March where Michael Van Gerwen back in it and he wants to win it? Or will we see a new champion? Will there be a Rob Cross winning it? I don't know. There'll be no Phil Taylor, so that's one less player to worry about. But even though you got to think, oh, we don't have to worry about Phil Taylor and co. We've still got to worry about the likes of Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright and Gary Anderson and Rob Cross, you know, the players that you really want to beat because they're up there to do a job and they want to be the best that they can be. So will they, you know, and will we see the resurgence of anybody like Adrian Lewis? I mean, James Wade, people like that, you know, maybe. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how Rob Cross develops into this year. Certainly it's going to be interesting for the World Championship when it comes up in December again because we're going to be like, Rob Cross is defending it and he might not win it again in a row, but you might get Michael Van Gerwen and might think, I want this one title. I want this title now. So it's going to be interesting. So, but I don't know. Maybe you've got your own views on whether Rob Cross is going to be a one-man wonder in one title, and then sort of starts to sort of fall off the bandwagon, and before you know it, you don't hear of him very much, and you think we thought it was destined to be the next superstar of darts, and then all of a sudden he isn't. Maybe you've got that, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We've just got to see what he does this year, basically, and see for that. But I don't think he'll be jumping off the bandwagon that quickly. So he's still going to be doing something for the next few months and possibly to the year. But whether or not he can regain it and stay up there like Peter Wright and people like Gary Anderson and I suppose people like Mike Van Gerwen, who are not going anywhere anytime soon. They're not sort of sticking down the rankings anytime soon. So we'll see what happens anyway. But apart from that, well done to Rob Cross on winning the World Championship and beating basically the greatest dart player of all time. Until then, bye for now.